Hello, it's me. I'm back, and you're here, so we're ready to do some stem and leaf diagrams. Should we do it? Okay, let's get going. Okay, so we're going to go straight today into learning stem and leaf diagrams. We're going to learn what a stem and leaf diagram does, and then how to make them, and then how to order them. And it shouldn't take too long. It might be quite a short video, this one. We don't know. Now, the starter was going to be a riddle, and then I went to start writing the riddle, and I realised I'd forgotten the riddle. So if anyone knows any good riddles, let me know. But I'm going to say good morning very quickly to Alicia, Eddie, and to Alex, and to Harry, and Nina, and Alicia again, and Lily, and Janine, and anyone else. That's it. So good morning to you all, and let's go straight into here where we're going to go onto stem and leaf diagrams. So stem and leaf diagrams are used to sort information and show how spread out it is. It's very good at looking at how spread out the data is quite quickly. This is how it would look. We have some numbers. And in order to do so, the first thing we're going to always need to do is write a key. You cannot have a stem and leaf diagram without a key. So the very first thing I always do is put in my key. Here it is. Now, this key will tell me what each number means. So what I'm going to do is choose two random numbers for line 5 and write means 45. This is because we could have put for line 5 means 4.5 or 450. So the fact that we're doing it with 4.5 means 45. It tells us exactly what the line means, which means the stem here is going to be the tens and the leaves are going to be the digits, the units. What this then allows us to do is start on the rough version, but when doing it, cross them off one at a time. So 18, I'm going to cross off 18 and put 1, 8. 9, I'm going to put a 0, 9. So remember, 9 is rewritten as 0, 9. 23 is 2 and 3. You'll notice all these numbers line up. They've got to be spaced apart. I'll show you this in a second with 16. 37, 3 and 7. 16 is 1 and 6. We've left a small space, so when we go to do 33, that's going to be underlined underneath the 6. They will be lined up as well. We do not cramp them together. They must be lined up neatly in line with each other. 18, 29, 03, not just 3, 07, 19, that starts his own column, and 21. We now have all the numbers drawn in our rough version. I'm going to join the screen so you can say hello to me. Hello. Once you've got your rough version of your stem and leaf diagram, your stem being the tens column and the leaves being like the bits, this shows you how, if you imagined, this shows you that between 0 to 9 we have 3 numbers. If you imagine this going sideways, 3 numbers, then we have 4 numbers, 3 numbers, and 2 numbers. This is what this diagram kind of does. It allows you to think of this in terms of how spread out the numbers are. And 30 to 39. So you can see we've got most of the numbers are between 10 and 19, but there are still quite a few in between all of them. So it's a way of seeing how spread out the numbers are. It's almost like a sideways bar chart. What we then want to do is a neat version. To do the neat version, it's not suddenly redraw it neatly. What it is that at the moment, I don't call them rough and neat. My preference is to call them unordered and ordered. So we always go to unordered, and then from unordered we go to ordered. And the way we do this is we take each row and put those numbers in order. Good morning, Harriet. Good morning, Sophie stroke Josh. each one in order. So this one we've got 3, 7, 9, numeric order. And I'm actually going to tick those off to show that I've done it again. It's okay for me, I'm using different colours. You might be using a pen or pencil, and so you might just need to be quite clear that you've done the whole row. 6 is the lowest, then 2 8s, then 9. And then 1, 3, 9. You'll notice they always line up, like I was showing you before. They always line up nice underneath each other. And 3, 7. Now, that's a bad 7. That was a good example of a bad 7. It needs to line up. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, you won't be asked necessarily to do, like if you're doing questions in a test and things. But that is not why I teach maths. I do not teach you maths to help you with tests. I teach you maths to understand stem and leaf diagrams. And because of that, what I'd like to do for each of the questions we're going to do, I'd like you to realise that the lowest value, the highest value, they will go out to give us the range, and we can also find the median value and the mode value. Won't always be obvious, but I'm going to do it for these. So the lowest, I'm going to do it all in blue. The lowest value is 0.3. The highest value is 37. You can see it from the neat version. Therefore, the range is 37 minus 3 is 34. There is a range of 34 different numbers here. The median is found by crossing off each end until we come to 1 or 2 in the middle. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and we've got 2 in the middle. That means the median value is halfway between them, so it would be 18.5. Halfway between the 2 middle numbers. All I did was found the 2 middle numbers. Let me rub out the working so we can still see the rest of the chart, but it was 18.5 because it was halfway between 18 and 19. Finally, the mode is the most common. Thinking back to our lesson a few weeks ago on mode, mean, median and range, there are 2 18s. There are no other numbers that have got more than one of them. So 18 must be the mode because there's 2 of them. This has not been asked for in the question. I've done it to try and explain to you what you can see from a stem and leaf diagram. You can see on the left up here, which I'm just colouring in now just to make it clear, we can see a picture of the data and how spread out it is. I can also find a series of facts out about the data we've got in our ordered system. Now, it's sometimes useful to then show, hello funny animation, it's sometimes useful therefore to do one more, let's do another question and see if we can do the same idea. Page down, there we go. I have not got any stem and leaf things, so we're going in the same order. I'm going to stick with black now, so we haven't got the colour jumping out. This is because this is more like it will look like for you. Key 3, 5 equals 35. The next thing I'm going to do is look for my lowest and highest numbers. I can see I've got a 74 and I've got 107. So I'm going to need my thing to go 7, 8, 9, 10 are my stems. Because 70 is the lowest and 100 and something is the highest. We're now doing our rough ones. We're going to have a neat one as well. It's not any neater because my writing is my writing, and we know that my writing is not as neat as I'd like it to be. But we can now start doing the things. Remember, I'm not going to do it unless I'm crossing off each number as I go along. 88, 88, 96, 96, 74, 107, 78, 91, 74, oh I forgot 100, sorry, 100, another 91, 74, 106, 97, 84. We now do the neat version by sorting each one neatly. So instead of 484, it will be 448 because we're sorting it into numerical order. 4 comes before 8. 1, 1, 6, 7, and 0, 6, 7. Just do your best to make sure at each one that's not a very good one, and I don't want it to look confusing, so I'm going to just redo that one. The next stage, I said, is what I always like to do, is then identify what the lowest number is and the highest. So the lowest is 74. The highest is 107. We've then got the range can be found out between them. Is 107 minus 74 is 33. We can then find the mode, 91 and 74. It makes it something called bimodal. It means it's got two modes. There are two 74s and two 91s. And then the middle one is where we cross off each end. So I'm going to rub out the bits that are in the way. So we've got our original thing, so it's nice and neat. Front, oh, not rub that one out. We're going to cross them out. Front one, back one. 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 We've got two left in the middle. They're both 91. So halfway between 91 and 91 is 91. So the median is 91. People say to me, what about the mean? Well, you could add all the numbers together, but you don't need the stem and leaf diagram. The stem and leaf diagram doesn't help at all in how to do the mean. It does allow you to easily find the median, the mode, and the range. It does not help you find the mean, because the mean, you need to add all the numbers together and divide by how many numbers there are. There's no easy way to do that using a stem and leaf diagram. So it's not a convenient measure from a stem and leaf diagram. Okay. I have put in a link below the video, in the description, a link to some more stem and leaf questions for you to go away and practice. Remember, practice does not make perfect, practice makes permanent. If you want to make sure you know how to do this for the long term, then you need to go away and practice it. I've done 2 questions with you, and hopefully I've answered them. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask them. I did say today's video will be quite short because it's about showing you and then you going away and practicing it. I'd love to see questions that arise from it. I'd love people to contact me and say, oh, I'm stuck on this, show me a photo of how you're stuck. I'm here to help. But there's no point you treating this as, oh, I did that lesson, if you don't go and do the worksheet in the description. I'm going to be investing a lot of time in the next few months building a database of my own worksheets. I've been borrowing worksheets from other people, but as I get a bit more sleep and as I try and get myself more developed, I'm going to try and have my own website that supports all your learning and have worksheets and things that people can download, and maybe even some packs and video workbooks that people can purchase to have at home. But what I'd really like is people to be getting in the habit of doing the video and then going and doing the worksheets. That's why I'm doing it, to try and teach you so you can learn. You've done 15 minutes with me, now go and do another 20 minutes, half an hour, practicing the skill I've just taught you, so that when you come to do stem and leaf diagrams at school, you're not behind, you're advanced. Because you know what you're doing, you know how to turn it into a rough one, then a neat one, you then know how to find the lowest, the highest, the mode, the median, and the range. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson, I hope you've learned something from it. I've been Mr. Harris, you haven't. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.